Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us for another great governance conversation. I am absolutely thrilled to have Mayor Cathy Heron from City of St. Albert with us today. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk about governance, one of my favorite topics.
I'm sure. Most, I think, that would be watching this would be familiar with Mayor Heron, but for those who may be watching from abroad, um, Cathy is second term now as mayor, re-elected in October of 2021. Congratulations.
Cute.
Two terms previously on mayor as a councillor, and she's current president of Alberta Municipalities. That would be our municipal body, bringing all municipalities together across the province. Thanks for serving there as well.
You're welcome. And it's just the villages, towns, and cities in
Right,
Alberta.
right,
There's a separate association that does the rural. Yeah.
right. Thanks
Yeah.
for that. Background, I was a little bit surprised to learn this. Kathy's a biologist by trade, and she has absolute passion for the outdoors, loves working with children of all ages. And I love the motto that showed up when I did some research as well. You're saying there it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think having the microbiology background served me quite well during a pandemic, because I actually very much understood viruses and vaccines and supported the science behind it. So that was a little bit of an edge I had. And yeah, I always talk about a village to raise a child, because I did a lot of work as a volunteer in our community before running for elected office. In I was a instructor with a program called Roots of Empathy. We would take little babies into classes and talk about empathy. And I just feel like the more people involved, and the more voices any kid can have that they can turn to for help, that just makes a better society.
Love it, near and
Yeah.
dear to my heart. I Lots of my conversations right now with some of my partner municipalities are around well-being,
No, yeah.
and that alignment is there for sure. So we'll get into the questions now, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see comparing with some of your friends in the region that have done this as well. So just generally, I guess, what does the term great governance mean to you personally?
I think there's a lot of people in Alberta who don't sit as an elected official, don't even understand the word governance, honestly, or even, not-for-profit boards. They get volunteers sitting on the boards, they don't understand what governance is. So for me, great governance is number one, understanding your role. For sure. I think there is a conception or a notion out there that if you want to see garbage picked up more frequently, or you want to see sand on this corner of the street versus that corner of the street during a winter storm, that you should run for council. And that's completely not the role of a councillor. That's, I see the big difference in governance is understanding the difference between day-to-day operations. And a municipality like St. Albert with 600 staff has really good employees that understand where the sand should go, and how often the garbage should be picked up, etc. And they're the experts. There's no way an elected official could ever be trained in every facet of running a municipality, and they should not expect to be experts, and they should not portray themselves to be experts. So I think it's about understanding your role. The role of council and good governance at the local level means that you understand your community, you talk to your residents and try to figure out where we should be moving into the future, and guiding that direction. So that's really high level, very strategic in planning. And so, that to me is good governance, is understanding your role and being strategic in your vision for the future. If you run for council and just say we need to lower taxes, that's inconceivable, and not a good vision for a municipality.
I love it. Role clarity.
Yeah.
You're and my friend George Cuff, of course, that would be what his big mantra would be, right? Role clarity. Love George's message in general. It's
Mhm.
that relationship between community council and administration. If everybody knows their role, that success follows. Thanks. That's great.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you a magic wand now. So thinking about where governance is right now, Is there anything that you would wave your magic wand to change?
I would love to see local government being, I would love to see it recognized in our federal constitution.
Hmm?
So yes, they describe the role between the federal and the provincial government, and then it's up to the province individually to design legislation that defines the local government, which causes confusion. And I would love to see it ingrained in the constitution that we were a third level of legitimate government. I see myself that way. I'm duly elected. We run elections and people put a vote beside my name, and but I am limited in what I can do depending on the government of the day, the GOA of the day. So that would be what I would wish for if I had a magic wand, for sure. That might be a little bit of a stretch. So maybe a sub wish would be a really good and respectful working relationship with the province, that they recognize us as a duly elected level of government and
Yeah,
treat us with respect.
here,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Too often I heard the relationship described as that parent-child relationship, and not at times a healthy parent-child relationship. Like,
exactly. And you hear it all the time. And you probably are well aware there was a MLA in Alberta who put on his social media that the municipalities are the children of the province and they deserve to be spanked. That was one of our elected MLAs in government, and that's
yeah,
just so disrespectful, and that's frustrating. There's different municipal affairs ministers who approach the role very differently. Some approach it um, as overlord and authoritarian type thing, like keeping municipalities in line. And some municipal affairs ministers are really good, and they see themselves as a full partner, and they're there to help municipalities guide them through the system and get the right funding, get the right policies. So that's the approach that works, I think.
thanks for that.
Yeah. And you probably know which ministers I'm talking about.
Yeah, historically, there's been a
Yeah,
few.
yeah, for sure.
Um, that's great. So on the other foot, so is there anything happening right now, governance-wise, that's inspiring you? Something that you might proactively share with someone thinking about getting into our sector?
Well, you mentioned in my bio that I serve as president of Alberta municipalities, and that's where I draw my inspiration, and the region as well too. I draw my inspiration sometimes with meeting with other mayors and elected officials across the province. They do this job quite thanklessly, and they continue to come up to the table and they continue to work hard for their communities, and they're honestly inspiring. Yesterday I was handing out the Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee medals to so many of those mayors across the province, and they continue to show up and to continue to do the work. When you stay localized in your own community, you hear issues and complaints that are common across Alberta, but you think they're unique to your own municipality unless you broaden your horizons and start talking to the mayors. And then when you see that these issues are universal, snow clearing is a universal issue in every municipality, and you can gain solace and you can gain a better understanding of solutions when you work together, find best practices, or just understand that you're not alone. So I get inspiration from my colleagues for sure.
Super.
Yeah.
Those were all the questions I had. I promised this would be somewhat brief. I know that you have lots to do, and those responsibilities as a mayor of a large municipality don't go away. So very grateful for your time, and best to you and St. Albert and all of your colleagues that you're working with at Alberta municipalities.
Awesome. Well, thank you for this opportunity. As I said before we started recording, I could talk for hours. So this is my passion. And if anyone does want to get into local government, I'm always here for anyone who wants to give me a call, and I'll talk to them for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing leadership.
Okay. Thanks so much, Kelly.
Okay, take care.